Now, I believe we are live right now. Welcome to another episode of the V Experiment. Today, we are going to have with us a person that is going to introduce himself. And we are going to have a very, very interesting conversation about well being in general. And he's going to tell the rest of it. Mike, welcome.
Thanks, Kyriaka. So great to be here.
Now, as I always do with every guest that I have, uh, who are you and what do you want to do? What do you want to say to people? What do you want to share?
What a beautiful question. Well, my name is Mike Messeroff. I serve the hospitality industry, and my mission is to bring peace to the industry, to help people enjoy their lives, to help people stop grinding and start truly living. And it's not hard, and people don't have to leave the industry. It's actually quite simple, but it's a lot of things that we're not taught, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm really excited for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
No, it's always a pleasure talking with people that want to bring something new and help the hospitality industry and every industry to become better. In one sentence, you mentioned all the problems that are there in the hospitality. Uh, but let's start with your journey, what you did in the past, and what brings you today, and what do you want to do in the future?
Yeah, so my whole life, my career has been spent in hospitality. I started about 30 years ago, actually bussing tables at a Greek restaurant, believe it or not, in Long
Oh,
Island, New York, and worked in restaurants throughout my teen years. Moved over to the corporate side in my 20s. I actually worked for an airline, so more on the travel, tourism, aviation side of things. Spent my entire 20s at JetBlue Airways. I was their first intern, and I left as their manager of business development. And I kind of always felt a little bit of a nudge when I was working at JetBlue. Like I call it a nudge from the universe, that there's a little bit more, or there was something just more, something I was missing. And it became very clear when I realized that my favorite part of my day was my walk at lunch, and that just really kind of got me thinking. Like there is more. There's something else here. But it took me years to actually make a change and leave that role. And thankfully, my wife was working for publishing at the time. We were both living in Manhattan, New York, and she was promised her third promotion. That she was told that she deserved it. You're going to get this promotion. And then the day came, and sorry, it's not in the budget, even though you've earned it,
yeah.
and you've been here for a long time. So she came home that day, and she said, I'm done with this. Do you want to quit, sell all our stuff, and move to the Caribbean? And I actually, even though I was ready, I had to think about it. I spent about 20, 30 minutes thinking about it. And I said, yeah, let's do it. So I immediately realized I needed a new skill to take with me traveling. So I learned how to bartend. I had a friend who owned a couple of restaurants and bars in the city, in New York City. And I told him I wanted to learn how to bartend, and he helped train me very basically, give me enough skills to get a job when I was traveling. And then I took that skill with me and I bartended all over the world. We spent a year in the Virgin Islands. We spent a year in Australia working and traveling, about 6 months traveling and working all over New Zealand. We made stops in Hawaii, Fiji, Indonesia, and it was amazing. Our travels then brought us to the beautiful Rocky Mountains and Breckenridge, Colorado, a really, really beautiful ski town. And for a few years, life was really, really amazing. I was working at this great steakhouse. I ended up moving up from a bartender to the bar manager. And then about 3 years into Breckenridge, I found myself running this bar. I had a bunch of people working for me, and I was the first one there, last one to leave. And all of a sudden, this fun job wasn't so much fun. And even though if you looked at my life on paper or on Facebook, and it was like, hey, this guy quit the corporate grind, traveled the world, he's bartending, I was skiing 100 days a year in Breckenridge, Colorado. I was living with my amazing little Yorkshire Terrier, my beautiful wife, who's amazing. My best friend Dave was the general manager of the restaurant. And Kyriakos, I was miserable. I was at the lowest point of my life. And that was a real wake up call. For me, that was not a nudge from the universe. That was a shake from the universe in terms of panic attacks, really bad depression, a lot of anxiety. And I was really confused. I thought that I kind of was doing everything that I wanted to do or that anyone would want to do. Travel, go to different beaches and skiing and all this fun stuff. And I was at the lowest point of my life. So that really made me realize that happiness, joy, fulfillment, peace is not out there. It's not in the next vacation. It's not in the next trip. It's not in the next job. I was bringing myself everywhere and I wasn't happy with myself. I didn't really know who I was. I wasn't a really kind, joyful person. At that point I almost destroyed a beautiful relationship with my wife, and we're still married to this day. Thankfully, we turned that around. But it was a very clear wake-up call that I had to try something new, and I did. I discovered mindfulness, thankfully through a therapist that I was seeing. She turned me on to mindfulness. I discovered the Headspace meditation app. And within a week of meditating, my life started changing drastically. And that really it was a beautiful thing. I just started to be more happy and calm, and a lot of the racing, overwhelming thoughts just kind of slowed down. And then, a few months go by and people just started asking me, like, hey, what are you doing? You used to be kind of a miserable prick. And now you're a really happy guy. And I said, well, if you really want to know, I'd love to tell you. And we would meet up at the local coffee shop. We would say it would be a half hour, but 2 hours later, they would leave feeling amazing. I would leave feeling amazing. And it just showed me that there was something here. Like I was put on this earth to share this. And that's when I moved into coaching. I started actually really helping people discover the same things that I was discovering. And then ultimately, I kind of found this beautiful home back in the industry that I spent my entire lifetime serving. And now I'm serving it in a different way. And all of my coaching is pretty much with top leaders in the industry. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching with top leaders. And right now I'm in the process of launching a free community for anyone in the hospitality industry, just to learn more about practicing mindfulness, to just be able to exhale, to feel seen and heard and safe, and to learn exactly how to stop grinding, how to really live fully. My company is called the Carpe Diem Company. I want people to seize the day and enjoy their life. And that's kind of what got me here, is just trying to spread this word that it is inherently a really busy, stressful industry. And that's okay. That's what we all signed up for. But we need the tools to flow, to enjoy the journey, to like who we are. And one of my favorite terms is what I teach people is self hospitality. We're all so good at delivering great experiences and service to everyone else, including our family and friends. And we forget about the most important person, the person that we take our first breath with and our last breath with, the person we see in the mirror every day. And once you start just taking a little bit better care of that person, everything else changes in your outer world. So that's how I got here today.
I believe I have like 200 questions right now. I'm going to start with the first one, the most practical. I know that we are both from the hospitality industry and we are both the same age. My question is, how easy is it for people to listen, that in order for them to learn how to self hospitality, as you said, how to be kind to your own self, how easy is it for people to understand this when you talk with them?
Um, it depends it depends if they're ready. I always say that everyone has their bottom. So you're the only one who knows that something needs to change, whether it's a nudge or a shake or just a gentle tap that's like, hey, I gotta do something different. The way that I'm flowing through my life, it doesn't feel that good. And a few things that I like to share is it's like the gas gauge on your car when it tells you it's blinking, low fuel, low fuel, low fuel. You don't get upset with it. You don't cover it up. You say, okay, it's time to fuel up and take a little break. If you're driving on the highway and you kind of nod off or you're falling asleep and you drift to the side and there's the rumble strips and it goes "Tut-tut-tut-tut," and it wakes you up, aren't you glad that you had those rumble strips so you're not off in a ditch or off in a ravine? It happens to all of us. We feel burnt out. We have too much on our plate. And instead of taking a deep breath or taking some time off or just doing a little more self-care, we usually bury ourselves in more work or we numb ourselves with self-medication. I was drinking a lot when I was at
Yeah.
my lowest. My best friend
Most
was a
of people,
bottle.
most of
I
people
mean,
in
yeah,
hospitality.
I had a bottle of Jameson at the ready, and it was really kind of just getting me through. And I was tired of getting through the shift. I was tired of getting through the week. I'm tired of getting through my life. I wanted to actually be present for it. And
And
the
you
other
have to
thing
enjoy
is,
it. Sorry for interrupting. And you have to enjoy it.
no, you have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy it. And there's two things, it's one, it's you talk a lot about kind of operational excellence, which I think is a beautiful thing. For me, it's inner operational excellence. It's like, how could you possibly operate effectively in the world if your inner engineering is not humming along, if you haven't taken the
Yes.
time to take care of what's going on inside of here? So it's not hard. And something else that I love telling people is that you're really not doing it for you. It's hard to get someone to say, hey, you have to be selfish. You have to take time every day and meditate, and you have to walk and go to the park or go to the beach and play with your dog and play with your kids. And that feels like a lot. But if you reframe it and say, look, you're doing it for them. You're doing it for them. You don't have to respond to emails immediately. You could take a breath, you could take a break, you can go for that walk, you could eat your lunch instead of rushing through it. You could drink your coffee and actually smell it and
Smell it.
taste it and realize that this is an experience. I'm not just gulping down caffeine, I'm enjoying a delicious beverage. And so often we gulp, we glug, we chug our drinks, and that's exactly how we're living our life. We chug our way through it, and then you get to the end and you're like, where did it go? I wasn't really present for it. So at the end of the day, it's like, is it bad enough that you want to change? Because if not, it's probably going to get worse, because these are alarms, and it starts as a tap, then it's a nudge, then it's a shake, and it just keeps getting louder until you start to listen. That's why I also always say that depression, and this is like a big thing, if you're feeling depressed, and if anyone out there is, I really know what it's like, and it sucks. But if you're having panic attacks, when I walked into the bar, I'd have to run to the restroom, splash water on my face, and just get my heart rate to slow down because I was having panic attacks. So if you're feeling that, I just want to tell you that it's a good thing. It means that you're finally waking up to the signs, to the messages, because we are always being guided in the direction of fulfillment and joy and peace and prosperity. But we don't listen to that because we're so busy and so noisy and we're always doing more, more, more. And we grind away, and then we literally grind away until there's nothing left. And you see it all the time. People burn themselves out to early deaths or suicide, and it's a real problem, but it's a real simple fix. It's just it's all about self-responsibility, realizing no one's going to fix your problems for you. It's time to do something different, and it's not flying to the Himalayas. You don't need to take a week-long retreat. 3 to 5 minutes of meditation every morning. Maybe practice a little gratitude. As corny and cheesy and cliche as that sounds, you can't feel depressed or anxious or angry and grateful at the same time. So you get to choose. And once you start realizing, like, wow, I actually have power over how I feel and how I show up in the world, and then the ripple effect of wow, my family is happier, my spouse, my partner, my kids, my dogs are happier. And then, of course, your colleagues, your staff, your guests, everyone is happier. And what I try to teach the leaders is that you are really providing a better guest experience by treating yourself and your staff kindly, because that's the only way to do it genuinely. Otherwise, it's fake. You're putting on a fake smile. So I hope that maybe that inspires someone out there to just try something a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm sure that people are going to listen to this. And the thing is, as you said about the burned out and everything, um, as you said, the blinker goes one. I need fuel. The car says I need fuel. The problem is that people don't listen to their bodies at all nowadays, because the body is giving you signs. It's about stress. It's about everything. And even if the what you said about being grateful needs is something that has to go with humility.
Hmm.
I know humility. Yeah, you need to be humble in
Hmm.
order to see that you are not the center of the universe. And if this, in and everything else that you said, this is a good start in order to start listening to people, to being present, because you are a coach. You know that the first rule of coaching is active listening. In order to be able to listen to somebody, you need to be present at that moment. This means my personal opinion has to go aside, and I have to listen to you. And the best coaches that I met are very, very humble people. And this is a good start in order for people to start doing what you are telling. And I believe that you are going to tell another or two tricks. There are not tricks. As we had a discussion, a very long discussion, more than an hour. And I believe that the most positive thing about people is evolving, trying new things, whatever fits better. If, as you said, if something makes you miserable, you need to find something else in order to make you happy. And the problem nowadays is that you just said the straightforward thing to do in order to become happy. Why do you believe people are not ready to do this?
Oh,
Most of the people.
it's just conditioned. It's just societal programming, and it's rampant all over the globe, as you and I have discussed. It's not just in America. It's in Europe. It's everywhere.
Yeah, Western
Um,
civilization. Let's start
that's
with
right.
there.
Which is mostly about deferring joy for the future. It's I'm going
Yeah.
to be happy when. And that goes, I even kind of mentioned it already. It's like, well, I'll be happy at the end of the shift when I get my shift drink. I'll be happy at the end of this work week because I get a few days off. I'll be happy at the end of this year because I get a vacation. I'll be happy at 65 because I'm going to retire. So all along, and that starts in at a very young age. You go to kindergarten, but you're not quite there yet. First grade's where it's at. But wait till you get to second
Yeah.
grade. And oh, wait till you get to high school. And that high school's nothing. Wait till you go to college. So we develop this system of steps, and it continues for our entire life until you just see through the veil, the lie. It's just a lie, and it steals our life away. That there's something waiting for you that's better in the future. There is nothing waiting for you in the future because we get what we practice. And if you spend a lifetime practicing deferring your joy and waiting to be happy, you get really, really good at waiting to be happy. Or you could start today and say, I'm just going to do something to cultivate a little bit more joy, peace, presence, gratitude, whatever it is. I'm going to feel that now because I want to practice. I want to teach my body so that tomorrow is even better. And then a year from now is even better. We're actually training ourselves to be the kind of person that we want to be. And again, yeah, it feels amazing to live that way, but if that's not enough, do it for them. Do it for the people. Because think about it, like, who are the biggest burdens to be around? Unhappy people. Their energy drains. They suck the energy out of a room and they suck your energy out. And if you're a miserable person, it's your kind of duty to say like, well, I got to do something about this. I got to take responsibility. It's almost like if you have a an opportunity to be joyful, you have a responsibility to be joyful, because that's why we're here. It's very simple. You know, my philosophy is that we're alive here on earth to enjoy life and to share that joy with others. We think it's the opposite. We think that we're going to share joy with others and then ultimately we'll experience joy ourselves. But how could you give from an empty cup? We all want to live abundant lives. The word abundance, the etymology of abundance literally means overflow. So if you want to live an abundant life, overflowing with joy and peace and serenity, you have to fill your cup so that you can give from the overflow. It I mean, people know that if you're doing it the other way, that's what burnout feels like. You're trying to drive your car with no fuel in the tank. It feels empty. You feel depleted. And then you wonder why it's like, this is a grind. Every day is the same thing over and over because you're not filling up first.
I told you, I told you about my oldest son. He's in the autism spectrum,
Yeah,
and it was a very, very hard check. It was something very difficult for me, and this mentality that you just explained, that brought me on my feet, and I said, I need first to be okay myself, to handle myself, to to stand on my feet on my own, and then I can help everybody else. And this was that was like 17 years ago, and I had it the hard way. But people, you know it quite well that you need to have a shock in your life in order to understand how important your soul is.
that's right. I mean, I always
It's
say you have to be
it's exactly like
shaken
this.
to awaken.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. And most of the people, I believe, the same as you. Everybody wants to have a good working environment, as everybody wants. As you said, they're living in 3 to 5 hours in front of a schedule. They're thinking about other things, and they are not enjoying the moment. It's a very hard skill to do, but gladfully there are people like you that can help other people
But
become.
I would like to kind of dispel that as a myth that it's not hard. It's actually our natural way of being. I mean, you look at like a 2-year-old kid, they're joyful, they're present. It's like a dog. You know, they're not thinking about tomorrow. They're just saying like, what am I doing right now in this moment? That's why we love dogs so much, because they are like the holders of the frequency of presence. Like they are just present beings. So same thing with a 2, 3, 4-year-old child. There's a reason why children smile 400 times a day and laugh, and adults, you want to guess? It's pretty abysmal. It's about 15. So somewhere along the lines, from a carefree, blissful child to a straight-faced, long-faced, serious adult, what happens? You know, that is actually
Kindergarten.
taking us. It's
Kindergarten.
That's
Sorry,
right. You got to be
it's
better. You
kindergarten.
got to be you got to be better than your classmates. It starts very, very young. This competing, this comparison. I'm not good enough. We start feeling unworthy, and and of course, you know, this is what I do all the time with my clients: is help to just you're innately worthy. You're alive. You know, that's such a gift. You've beaten all odds. You're here. That's enough. It's your birthright to feel worthy, but we've gotten that beaten out of us. So it's actually our natural state to be peaceful and to be present and to be joyful. And look, I don't wake up joyful every day. I mean, I have years and years of the other way of living, decades of living that way. But I do enough. I know what I need to do. It could be as simple as looking out the window and just saying thank you. It could be taking a deep breath. Maybe it's a meditation. Maybe it's writing in my journal. I have all these arrows in my quiver that I use. to raise my vibrations, to generate love and light and joy, and then I go out in the world and give. And everyone can do that. It doesn't matter if you're the dishwasher in the back of the house or if you're a housekeeper in a hotel. I do think there's a lot we could talk about operational things that leaders could implement in their businesses, but most of this work is personal. You really can just take it on yourself and say, it would be nice if there were some different things in the operation, but what can I do? And that might mean, you just go to bed a little earlier. You don't have the extra drink, or for me, the extra 15 drinks. I mean, seriously, because when I started meditating, I would wake up hungover and just say, "This sucks. Like, I don't want to feel this way." So naturally, I just cut my drinking way down. I lost a ton of weight, but it wasn't like I have to do this. It was just I want to feel good. And once you care about how you feel, I'm telling you, like that's the secret. Actually caring about how you feel. You can't give away what you don't have. And if you want to be that source of love and joy and leadership, you have to have self leadership. You have to fill yourself up with that joy so that when you're out there and giving, it's what's inside of you. And
It's energy.
especially when you're squeezed, which we all are in this industry, you're getting yelled at from a customer or a guest, or something stressful is happening. One of your employees no shows. That's the moment where it's like, all right, I've been training, I've been filling up with joy. Let's see what comes out of me now. And it's not going to be amazing every time, but you learn and you say, wow, like I did much better than I thought I was going to do, but I could do even better next time. And you get better and better and better because you're getting out ahead of it. Everything gets easier when you get out ahead of it. All of this work, a lot of this work is preventative as opposed to prescriptive. Again, there's a lot that we can do in the moment, like one deep conscious breath, which we could do together. I'd be happy to. But but a lot of it, like 75% of it, I would say, is personal work, personal responsibility, and just showing up differently. The people around you are going to notice.
Everybody's going to notice because as you, as I, as everybody that is working in the hospitality industry, uh, a part of my job always was to go and say good morning to everybody that was working inside the company. I didn't care if there was 10, 50, or 200 people. I went to all of them and I said, good morning, how are you today? And then I knew if somebody, if something was right or wrong. And then I had to take action and say, okay, how can I help you?
I love that.
Yeah, it's a very small trick. I wouldn't say trick. It isn't a trick. It's about I just cared. I cared for the business and for the people inside. No,
Uh,
for both. Yeah, for both of. I cared about the people and the business because it's a cycle. If the business is good. Uh, but now let me go back to what you said about drinking at night. How difficult is it to talk to millennials about this? Because they have they have more anxiety. They have like a 45 minutes scrolling on the mobile phone because of dopamine every night before sleep. How do they respond to what you're saying? Because I believe one thing is cut off your mobile phone half an hour before you go to sleep.
oh yeah, that's a great tip, and that is a trick. Um, I think you might be surprised. I think they're actually very receptive to a lot of this, and they don't want to live in this completely digital screen-based world. The thing is, when you actually start caring about how you feel, you're going to notice. And for a millennial too, like they if they're more present and they're scrolling, because I don't really scroll, because after scrolling for like 30 seconds, I feel it. I literally feel my vibrations lower. I feel like kind of like a bad mood coming on, and and then I'm able to say it's because I'm doing this thing that I could actually stop doing. I don't have to keep doing this. It's bringing my vibrations down. It's lowering my energy. So I think they are very receptive. It's just about just showing that the happiness is not in the screen. It's actually feeding more of the programming. And so much joy comes from solitude, silence, the stillness. I'm a writer too. I write a lot of poetry, and a lot of what I write about is what the answers that we find, the peace that we find in the silence. A lot of, it's funny too, because I was reading your description for our talk today, and a lot of it was, I know you're speaking to people who want to be at the top of their game. And it's like, how could I be more productive? How could I do more? How could I achieve more? And I mean, that sounds like something a millennial would want too. Like, I want to be the best. The way that you do more and get more productive is by doing less. Like, it's not about doing more. It's really about doing the things that are most important. And it's kind of like, I like to use the example of digging a huge hole, like you're building a swimming pool in your backyard. Would you rather use a teaspoon or a huge backhoe, like a huge construction truck that'll just dig it out in like 5 minutes? If you spend 5 minutes a day meditating, or three, and you're just kind of cultivating that peace, that deeper connection, just a sense of joy, you're summoning the power of the universe. It's like you're calling the construction guy and saying, "Hey, I need that truck here because I'm not about to start digging with a spoon." That's crazy. But everyone else who's not practicing this is doing it the hard way. And then it's like, "Well, this is taking forever. I have two hands. Let me use two spoons. Let me see how many people maybe I could hold more than one spoon." And just you're working harder and harder and harder instead of working so much smarter. And it's just the concept of flow versus force. And that's why I see people, whether they're millennials or senior leaders, they usually try to combat burnout and anxiety by digging in and working harder. And it's not the answer. That's just another distraction. It's actually disconnecting them from why they started working in the first place, whether it was a love for the industry or a love for their company or just a love for their family, and they forgot all about that. So to do more, you really have to just kind of stop doing, at least for a few minutes a day, and just see. Don't take my word for it. Don't trust me. Like, words don't teach. You have to experience this in your life, and and we can't teach others with words either. We could only teach by the power of our example. And you've seen it too. Like, if you have a great leader who's present, who's listening, who really cares. I love how you said that. It's like people are like, "How do I create a culture of caring?" It's like, well, actually care. Actually care about these people. They're spending a good portion of their life working for you or working at your organization. And once you start really, really caring, it's just it's palpable, it's noticeable, and people will change. They will literally change their energy in your presence because you took a few moments of doing nothing, or going for that walk in the park, or sitting on a beach, or rubbing your dog's belly, or just enjoying a meal. Really, like 5, 10 minutes to enjoy your next meal, or 5 minutes to enjoy a cup of coffee. Just try it. Just try it. You're going to feel something that you've been like so disconnected from, and you're going to want more. And your attitude and the presence, your presence of being that you bring to every situation, every conversation, every interaction, every meeting is going to be different. And you're going to say, "Man, what did I do differently? Oh yeah, I took a little bit of time away from all the noise." Because it's such a noisy world now, more than ever, with the scrolling, with politics, with AI, with all this technology. And then if we do ever get a chance to be quiet, it's so noisy in between our own ears. And usually our thoughts are so negative and so repetitive. So that's why my main message is just a few minutes a day away from all that. And it's not sitting in lotus position. You don't have to cross your legs or sit with a mudra in your hands. You just have to sit and focus for a few minutes. Usually you're focusing on your breath. And then you notice you get distracted, and then you come back to your breath. And what that's doing is building this muscle. It's literally a muscle of mindfulness, a muscle of presence. And the coolest thing is when it starts work, like when you feel it working in your life, when you're making dinner and you spill the tomato sauce and you don't freak out. You just look at it, you're like, oh, I'm gonna clean
Oh,
that
no,
up.
shit happens. Yeah.
That's and that applies in especially in hospitality leadership too, where you're imagine a leader who's not reactive, who's calm, who's responsive, who maybe doesn't just say, I know the answer, or let me fix this. You take a breath and it's like, let me respond from a place of calm and clarity instead of chaos. So yeah, I mean, I could talk about this. I like talking about this stuff. I
Yeah,
gotta
I
cut
mean,
myself off.
no, no, please go ahead. Because I'm going to give you 1 minute to rest and I'm going to tell a small story.
Great.
The way that I'm working in hospitality and training and whatever, I always answer with questions. I always answer with questions because people, as you said, coming with problems. Oh, Mr. Vikos, we have a problem. Okay, what is the problem? Tell me. We don't have any beach towels. Oh, I believe somebody got hurt, or we didn't have any electricity, or somebody is dead. Those are problems. That we don't have towels is not a problem. And you need to be something like this. You need to calm down because people are coming in the hospitality, and that's about the leaders. I'm going to talk now about the leaders. I know that is your episode, but let me say just one thing. If all the people are coming with problems to you, this means you really need to focus how to be this person with a lot of positive energy in order to train yourself not to be harmed with this negative energy. I don't know if I said this correct, but if there are 50 people coming to you with problems, this means negative energy. And at the end of the day, you need to find a way in order, as you said, take a breath, calm down, give yourself 3 to 5 seconds in order to answer, and then calm down and give the answer. Because everything else is like boom, boom, boom. It's like, sorry, sorry for interrupting. Go on and say all the beautiful things that you say about hospitality. And I hope a lot of people are listening right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's so true. And it's just a good reminder that that is hospitality, that we're here to solve problems. That's literally why your job exists, is to be a problem solver. So when you get stressed out that there are problems, you're literally getting stressed out for the reason that your job exists. So if I know
As a
you asked for
manager,
a few more kind of practical things, is even just a little mantra or an affirmation, that's just like, I want to be here. I love this work. I love solving problems. I love making people happy. I love, fixing issues. You could have,
making people happy. That's the mantra that everybody should have above their, I don't know, their offices. I like having people happy. Making people
yes,
happy is the most important thing in hospitality. Sorry, go on.
and that goes back to, you can't give away what you don't have. You want to instill joy and happiness, but you're not feeling that. It's impossible. You cannot give away what you don't have. So that goes back to cultivating that within. And you shared a good story. I mean, a couple stories. Well, one, I just had a recent client, top leader in the hospitality industry, and he, on his own, before his leadership meetings, he would tell me, he says, I started just sitting in my office and taking 10 minutes before the meeting. I'll do a little meditation. I'll just kind of be clear about what I want from this upcoming meeting. And then I'll go into the meeting. And he says, night and day, night and day difference from just a few months ago when he was in his head and not really very present, to like, hey, I'm just going to ground myself in the present moment, remind myself what's important, take a few deep breaths, and then go into the meeting. And you could do that in any role that you're in. It could be before your shift, it could be before the next room that you're cleaning, anything. It's just like, oh, this is where I want to be. I enjoy this work, and I'm excited to be here. So
Well,
that's just something that naturally came out from him learning about this work. I think something else that is really important is you have to not care about what other people think. Meaning, like, you have to be the weird one who's willing to maybe not go hang out at the bar after work, even though everyone else is doing it. You know, you can go once in a while, be social, have friends, but like you could be the weird one who's like, "Hey, I'm going to go home and go to sleep," or "I'm going to listen to this cool YouTube video or this podcast that I've been wanting to listen to." You could meditate on a park bench and just not care that other people are going to be like, "What's that person doing?" or like, that's weird. You have to just know what works for you. I mean, obviously, I love Latin terms. My company is called the Carpe Diem Company, but another term that I love is nosce te ipsum, which means know thyself. Just know who you are. Know what works for you. I'll also say another one that I love is memento mori. Memento mori means remember thou art mortal, which means this is why I have an obsidian skull on my desk. Remember, you're going to die. If you don't enjoy your day today, you're not guaranteed tomorrow. So there's, just a few little pieces in there, and one story I will share that I love, hopefully to help people realize like it's all you. You have to be the weird one. You have to not look around you and see what everyone else is doing, especially if you're a leader, because if not you, who? Who's going to do it? And if not now, when? It's not just going to happen on its own. So once upon a time, there was a farmer, and he found an eagle's egg in a field, and he brought it home to his chicken eggs. He had a chicken coop, and he had this brood of chickens that were about to hatch. So this eagle hatches with a brood full of little chicks. Years go by, and this eagle grows up thinking it's a chicken. It's clucking and cawing and scratching at the ground looking for worms, and it tries to fly, and it's thrashing its big wings, and it barely gets a few feet off the ground because that's what chickens do. And then more and more years go by, and this eagle is getting older. And one day he looks up at the sky and he sees this beautiful bird just soaring in a cloudless sky, just barely using any energy. Oof, just like beautiful. And the eagle looks to his neighbor and he says, "Hey, what's that bird?" And the little neighbor chicken says, "Wow, that's the eagle. That's the king of the birds. He lives in the sky, but we're chickens and we live here on the ground." And that eagle lived and died as a chicken its entire life. And I share that story not to say that the people around you are chickens. It's not an insult. It's just to say, don't look
it's
around
not about
you.
the chickens. It's about the eagle. It's about the eagle. The story is about the eagle.
You're an eagle. It's time to fly. It's time to fly. So yeah, be the weird one and start taking care of yourself and just see what happens.
Yeah. Uh, public humiliation and public, I don't know how the other term is. We are afraid of what somebody's going to think of us. And this is also a big problem in society. But the good
If
part
you
is
if
that
you
we don't. Yeah, please.
if you say that what you think about me it matters, then what you're saying is what you think about me matters more than what I think about myself. That's crazy. I mean,
That's,
that's crazy. And most of these
I know
people
that
are
it's crazy.
strangers. They're strangers. They don't know you. You're the one who has to live with yourself. You're the only one who knows. Are you living a life that's in alignment? Are you living a peaceful life? Are you sharing joy? Are you experiencing joy? Or are you going through the motions? Are you slapping on a happy face? Are you numbing your emotions? Are you escaping the present moment? And this isn't about beating anyone up. I want someone to realize, like, oh shit, I'm doing that. And if you realize that you're doing that, it means that you have the power to change that. It's when we say that, oh, if only my boss was different, if only I worked for a better
Mm,
company, if only I
no, no,
lived
no, no, no,
somewhere
no, no,
else.
no.
I've tried all of that. I tried fixing everything in my outer world. First of all, it doesn't work. It's really exhausting and it's very fragile. It's like a house of cards, and if one thing moves, the whole thing falls.
I'm going to tell you just one thing. The last time I checked, nobody had a chain on their feet in a job. You are not chained with anything and has to be by force anywhere. You can change a job, you can change your mentality, you can change everything. This is what I believe, and this is why I tell people, "Oh, my boss is a little bit okay. Go away, shut up, or change it. I don't know. You can. Yeah, it's a little bit complicated. But let me go back to what you said. Um, a good question that I always it's a saying in I believe YouTube, Instagram, it's going around. Tell me three human beings that you love the most,
Mm,
and everybody's saying one, two, three, and 99.9% doesn't include themselves.
mm. Mm-hmm.
Just to know, I've tried this also in Greece and with other people, and I said, tell me three people that you love. Three human beings. Nobody says anything about themselves.
Yeah, and I have another story about self-love that I'd love to share because I think
Please.
it sounds so, again, kind of like overplayed, or like, yeah, sure, I'm supposed to love myself. I think that we have this kind of misconception of what that actually means. I think self-love is more like the love that you have for your pets or your kids, where it's completely unconditional. It's like, imagine, you're walking with your dog on the street and someone's like, "Hey, I see you have a dog, but I have a better one. It's younger, it's cleaner, it's a purebred. You want this new dog?" Well, of course you're going to say no. Like, this is my dog. I love my dog. I don't need a reason. I don't care what it looks like. Same thing for your kids. If you could cultivate that sort of feeling for yourself and just say, "Look, when I was born, when you were born, you, the real you were given Kyriakos. I was given Mike. And my only job in this lifetime is to show Mike a good time." And if you look at life like that, like, "Oh, I'm here to show this person that I was given a good time," it's a game changer. And then if you actually start to live that, and you see that people around you are happier and more fulfilled, and just more joyful beings, then you're going to keep loving yourself. And it's this, like, again, you're the generator, you're the power plant of everything you want to see in the world. You become that, and then share it with the world. And it doesn't take, you don't have to become a coach. Like I said, you don't have to move to some cave in the Himalayas. You just have to care enough about yourself and about the people around you to say, "Hey, it's my responsibility to just figure out this joy, peace, and presence thing, because I know that it can't be caused by someone else. That's too much responsibility for them, and it's not fair to them. And it can't be from the next job. It can't be from the next car. It's too fragile. It has to come from within." So I hope maybe that slight reframing helps someone out there, just to say, "You know what? Like, I really been treating myself like shit." And the things that we say inside of our own head are so much worse most of the time than we would ever say to our greatest enemy. We talk horribly to ourselves. And this is something I've worked on for years with myself, and I still do. And I'll catch myself and I'm like, unbelievable. Like, and I laugh at it. I laugh at, like, isn't that wild that I still have this programming in me to feel unworthy, or to feel like I don't deserve something good to happen in my life, or and I mean, so much of what I teach is the law of attraction, that there's power behind our words, there's power behind our thoughts. Even the word abracadabra, most people know, like, hey, you want to create something, abracadabra. That literally comes from the words, "I will create as I speak." So if you start to feel better about yourself and to actually like yourself, forget about love, like, just start liking yourself, you're going to speak differently. You're going to think better thoughts. You're going to have a horrible thought and be like, "Hey, that feels terrible to think that thought. Am I doing anything good by repeating this negative thought over and over?" And it's hard to just stop. It can be hard to just stop, but that's when you go for the walk.
Everything is hard. Everything is hard. but you need to teach yourself, to train yourself in order to become who you want to
It's
become.
but it's not, and that it's really not hard. It's just it needs to be a way of life because I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still expanding. I'm still noticing different things about myself that I'd like to change or evolve. So it's a never-ending journey, but it's not a hard journey. I think the hard journey is staying in the same place when your soul has moved on. And it's like I always say, we get to choose our discomfort. Life is uncomfortable. There's going to be pain, there's going to be loss, there's going to be hardships, but is your suffering, is your discomfort coming from staying stuck and not trying something new? Or is it the discomfort of moving in the direction of your dreams? It's like imagine a caterpillar, crawling in the dirt. And the caterpillar's like, man, this kind of sucks just crawling around in the dirt, but it's going to just stay in the dirt and it's kind of uncomfortable and it's not really moving. It's not doing anything. It's just uncomfortable. Or it could say, this is uncomfortable. I feel like building a cocoon. I don't know why. It just feels like I should do that. And it goes into the cocoon. It's dark. It's claustrophobic. There's acid that melts down its body. It's got to feel uncomfortable. And then it emerges as a butterfly. So it's both choices were uncomfortable, but at the end of one, you're flying. At the end of the other, you're still stuck in the dirt.
It's, as you said, it's everything. In order to evolve, you need to make an effort. Do you remember what we discussed about my mindset about everything is training in life?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everything is training in life. This means I didn't have once in my life one trainer, even if it was in foreign language, football, and I mean soccer, running, squats, whatever. I didn't have one time a coach that told me, "No, today you're not going to run. You're not going to make your miles in order to become better." Never. Never. Everybody was pushing. Everybody was become to become better. I have to push you, and that's what we have to do as human beings. Yes, at the beginning it's uncomfortable, but at the end
I
it's rewarding.
I was in the gym this morning and I have a trainer. I think, it's great to have a coach and someone to really help push you and actually make things harder. And I was having a real off workout and I told her, I'm like, I'm just feeling off. I'm just not into it today. She goes, oh, no problem, no problem. We're just gonna do 4 sets of this, these squats. And I'm like, but I just told you, like, and she's like,
So
nah, you're fine. And we did it, and we did it, and I got through it, and I felt better afterwards. But yes, we always get what we practice. That's what I said earlier. Are you practicing joy or are you practicing deferring joy? Even just that little simple thing of what am I practicing? Am I practicing complaining and blaming and gossiping and speaking negatively, using my word for black magic? Or am I talking about the things I want? Am I appreciating? Am I complimenting? Am I using my words as white magic, as creative power that they are? Because everything that exists started as an idea in someone's head. So there's so much power behind how we talk and how we think. So it's yeah, like you said, it's repetition. That's why I really want to say it's not hard. It's just over and over, almost to the point. And I tell all my clients, I'm like, it's gonna feel like a little silly, like how much repetition. And throughout the day, it's meditation in the morning and mindful reminders throughout the day, which is just a term that I love. Like you need to be reminded to take a deep breath. You need to be reminded to enjoy your lunch or your coffee, or to look outside, or to listen to when someone's talking to you. And then you want to do something at night. Typically, I love just going back over the day and celebrating my wins, which is another form of gratitude. Because how often do you get to the end of a busy day and you're like, man, that was just a whirlwind. I don't think anything happened. And then if you really pay attention, you're like, oh, wait, that really nice person held the door open for me. That was kind of sweet. I was rubbing my dog's belly today. Oh, we had a walk on the beach. Oh, I had a really nice conversation with someone. Oh, yeah, I was on that podcast. Oh, my God. And all of a sudden, then you go to bed and you're marinating in that good energy all night, and it's easier to do it again. It's momentum, and then we get knocked down, and you don't stay down. That's the difference. When you do this work, you're still going to get knocked down. I have off days. I do. But usually it's not even an off day. It's an off morning or it's an off hour. And then it's like, okay, I got to change this around. And a lot of times I might even cancel something. I might say, look, I can't have that meeting today. I need to tend to my own vibrations. So if we could push it back an hour, or if we can meet tomorrow instead, it's that important. I care about that person. And a great example is when my mom calls me. I love my mom, but sometimes she'll call me and I'll look at it and I'm like, oh, it's my mom. I should pick up. And I'm like, no, not right now. Not
Right
right now.
now.
It's not it. And it's for her. She might be like, hey, how come you didn't pick up when I called? Because I love you. Because I love you. And you don't
Exactly.
you deserve my presence. You deserve my good energy. I'm really hungry. I was in the middle of making dinner. I'm going to do all that. I'm going to have a bite to eat. And then I'm going to call you and we're going to have a great conversation. It changes everything.
Yeah, but it's, as you said, it's everything is being taught and it's repeating, repeating, repeating. As you said before, the small things that you have to celebrate is a very good example that has to be built up in every operation in hospitality. This means
Beautiful
at the end of the
point.
day, as you said, it's exactly the same thing. Where the problem lies, everybody is concentrating on the negative. You didn't do this, and this has to do about power, about psychology. You give people power and then they use it in the wrong way. But if you turn it around and said, okay, today we did 80% of the job, kudos, we are
Hmm.
going to try tomorrow to be better, but you did this right and this right and this right. If you concentrate on the negative, you're going to get negative.
Beautiful
I don't know
point.
if it's correct,
I
but
could,
yeah.
no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we all know. I mean, that's how you train an animal. You want to do
Yeah.
positive reinforcement instead of negative reinforcement. And for some reason, this is kind of something in the hospitality industry. A lot of leaders are simply promoted to leadership because of tenure. I've been there the longest, so they're going to get promoted to the next position
Yeah, yeah.
without the actual leadership development training or emotional intelligence. And then they think leadership is barking orders or just like running a tight ship. But leadership, or even like look at a pyramid, like an org chart. It's like, well, I want to be at the top of that. Everyone under me, I have so much power. Flip that upside down. You're holding all these people. Your job is supporting all these people. That's a lot of responsibility, which means you also really need to tend to your emotional state and your vibrations and your joy, because you want to be able to spread that joy. And yeah, there's going to be hard conversations in there, but mostly it's going to be like you did, going around, good morning, how you doing? How can I help you? How can I serve you? How can I make your life easier and
This
more
is my job.
joyful?
Yes, this is our job as managers. I'm not going to talk about leaders because leadership and management skills are two different things in my brain.
Sure,
But
no problem.
as a leaders, okay, if you're a leader, you are alone. You walk in front, you walk alone, and everybody's coming behind you. And you have to be, because you care about everybody, because it's the only way to become a leader. If you care for everybody, then you are a leader. If you don't care, nobody's going to come with you. It's very, very easy.
Good point. You got to
But
care.
the thing is, we are going to change the world, you and I. We are going to make this us in hospitality, and we are going to show only to those who want, because people people are very, very they are stuck in their everyday routine, that it's like the matrix. Everybody, yeah, they don't know that they are living somewhere else and they should be somewhere else. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be that we are Gen Xers. That means that we are raised different. But I
Well,
believe
it's like don't have hope in tomorrow. Figure out how to be joyful today. You know, the people who kind of put off hope for tomorrow are the miserable ones. It's like imagine a donkey with a carrot hanging in front of its face, forever chasing that carrot but never getting to take a bite. And that's you got to just say like I'm done waiting to enjoy life. And if it's a 180, it's completely different from how society teaches us. Buy this thing, do this thing, get this degree, get this job, house, cars, everything that we're told, then you could be joyful. And what I'm just proposing as a theory is flip it, do whatever you can to be joyful now. Usually it's really, really easy. It's enjoying your coffee, it's going for a walk, it's rubbing your dog, it's sometimes it's just taking a nap. It's actually just doing things that make you feel good. And then enjoy your day and just see what happens. Just try it out as an experiment in your life.
don't ask me. I always eat 25 minutes a day, 25 minutes a day when I'm having a meal at work. I don't talk to anybody and I close my phone. 25 minutes. It's a ritual that people from my school, hospitality school, taught me. A very, very old teacher that I had. They said the most precious time is lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy it and don't let anybody interrupt you at the time that you are eating. And this helped me a lot because I had those 25 minutes in order to relax. And as you
And
said, you can do this with, yes, you can do this with a coffee and you can do that. Yes, please. Sorry.
I could just see people out there saying, yeah, yeah, but you don't understand what it's like, or you don't
Mm,
understand how busy I am, or you don't
I
understand
understand.
like I need to be on, I need to be checking emails. And again, that's where I would say, just try it out. Just try it out. Just see what happens. I take all of almost every Sunday, I go tech free. My clients know this, my wife knows this, my family knows this, and you know sometimes they'll call and be like, oh yeah, I forgot it was Sunday, but I'm training them that, and man, the magic that comes
Exactly.
out of those days. Yeah, and imagine, and it goes vice versa. If you're responding to every single email right away, you're training people. Oh, Kyriakos writes back right away. So the one day that you're like, hey, I'm having lunch, they're gonna say, where is he? Is everything okay? If you train people that you are not always responsive, that you're more thoughtful, that you're more calm, that you're more responsive and reflective than reactive, then they're just going to know that about you. And yeah, we get what we expect. And I actually love that your company is called Hospitality Perception. I got that right, right?
Correct.
Because it's all perception. And if we change what we perceive, then we get to change what we believe, because a belief is just a series of thoughts that we keep thinking. So you perceive differently, which means you believe differently, and then you receive so much differently. So it's yeah, I mean it's a beautiful thing. Change your perception.
I'm going to tell one last tip for the managers and then we can close it up. I always say I'm going to, when I'm asking something of somebody, I need it done in minimum, now max 24 hours. This means if I want something, I don't want it now. I want it in 24 hours, one day afterwards. And I said, the same goes with you. If you want something from me, you need to ask me 24 hours prior in order for me to make my program. And this is, as you said, training you train them in order to think. They are not so stressed if they say, okay, I don't need to do this today. I can do this until tomorrow. This means I'm not stressed. This takes a little bit of stress away from them if I go to them as I want it now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also a mentality for managers to think about it. Don't ask for something to be done now, because if you want it to be done now, this means you are wrong in your programming. You didn't organize the things that you had correct.
And what's cool about that is there will be those, hey, like once in a while, like this is an emergency, something happened.
Yeah, okay.
We need all hands on deck. We need this to be done now. But then when that happens, it'll be taken seriously. It'll be like, oh wow, like this is really important. Otherwise, it's the boy who cried wolf, and it's like you need it now. You need everything now.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now, how we are going to finish this beautiful conversation? What do you want to share with the people? What are your future thoughts? I know that you are in the day, but
I'd love to just leave everyone with a gift of one conscious breath, which doesn't matter if you're a leader, a manager, frontline. If you have someone screaming in your face, really, you could take a conscious breath. So if you just want to have your feet flat on the floor, you could be sitting or standing. And you really just want to take a big inhale through your nose and then take a little bit more in, really filling up, and hold it just for a few seconds. Just feel your body full. Hold it, and then let it all out. And when I say all of it, ooh, feel your shoulders lower. Feel your body kind of sink a little. Let all that air out. Now, I shut my eyes. You don't have to shut your eyes. You could do that anywhere, and it's just a reset. It's just a great way to reset your nervous system, to regulate your hormones, to just kind of remind yourself of what's important. So I just wanted to share that. If you want to take it a step further, you could take a breath in and also think about something you're grateful for. Just bring that feeling into the center of your chest. There's a lot, but it's simple. It's just these little, again, it's like arrows in a quiver. It's tools in a toolbox. And the more you care about showing up for others the way that you want to, the more you're going to want to have all these tools. You're going to want to take care of yourself. You're going to want to meditate in the morning. Most importantly, you're going to want to stop grinding and start living, which is what I want for everyone out there, to really enjoy the journey. There is no destination, and we're not here for a very long time.
And now is my question. The Carpe Diem company is about to be for hospitality leaders, people who work in the hospitality. What is it exactly that you are going to do over there?
So I'm launching a community. It's called the Carpe Diem Collective, and it's going to be a free community. And there's going to be kind of two main aspects. Again, it's really just to give the whole industry a place to exhale, to take a step away from the operation and that stressful atmosphere. And it's going to be practical tips, guided meditations, gratitude exercises, a lot of what we talked about, taking a conscious breath. The other side of it is going to be actual community, where I will be supporting people, but also the community is going to be supporting people. And it's going to be a safe space where you could just share, like, hey, I'm having an off day, or here's something I'm dealing with, and actually get some support. And it might not always be, you have to do this thing, but just to feel seen, to feel supported, to know that you're not alone. We are all in this together. I love this industry because we're all really fun people who typically like people. We like serving. We like travel and food and experiences. And a lot of times it just gets lost in the grind of it all. And I think if we can connect as an industry in our shared joy of hospitality. I mean, how beautiful is hospitality? Like just the concept of showing someone else a good experience and a warm heart, like an open heart. I just think it's, like you said, we're changing the world, and it starts with this industry that really has ripple effects throughout the whole world.
I hope you are going to allow me to be part of this collective
Of
because
course, it would be an honor for sure. Yeah, when it
now,
launches, it will be at the carpediemcollective.com. I'd say for anyone who wants to stay in touch with me, I created a free masterclass, which we go into a little bit more detail than some of the things that you and I talked about today. It's called Self Hospitality, naturally. So it's just self-hospitality.com. I'm also on most of the social media channels at Mike Meserov. I love helping people with this stuff. I'm never like, hey, sign up to be a client. Like, no. If things work out, if it feels like a good fit for coaching, great. If someone just wants a little help or a push in the right direction, just reach out. Just know that you're not alone. I've been there. I've been in some dark places in my life, and there is a light in the darkness. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
and his name is Mike. Now,
And Kyriakos.
now let me. No, it's okay. Thank you very much for being on the show, and it was very very interesting. And thank you for your time. And I hope we will meet face to face in September, October, if we can, in order to make something good happen.
That'd be amazing. Thank you for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure, really.
Now, to you all guys, thank you very much for having the patience with us to discuss about things you might know or didn't know. But the good thing is that you should try everything that you are listening. It's very easy, as Mike said. It doesn't make any effort. It just needs seconds of your life. Until the next
opposite of
time.
effort. It's the opposite of effort. Everyone's
Yeah.
efforting too much. Try something a
No.
little different. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's giving too much effort in order to achieve things. This is effortless. Now, thank you very much and see you next week, I hope. Thanks. Bye bye.